This new camera works very well. I was kind of expecting this recap to come out a little bit earlier, but it took me a little bit longer to get my new camera set up. It looks pretty sweet, huh? So let's get on with some crime news. Got a few stories to talk about before I jump on stream. You may remember a video I did recently on Cannibal Corpse guitarist Pat O'Brien and all the trouble that he got himself in recently. He committed a home invasion, he pushed a woman on the ground, he tried to hide from police, he ended up getting tased, his house was on fire somehow. Firefighters couldn't stay in his house because there were flamethrowers and a bunch of ammunition cooking off. It was a whole big ordeal, but more stuff has come to light to show that this is probably the single most metal incident of all time. The reason this may be the #1 single most metal incident of all time is because investigators also found 82 firearms and 3 human skulls inside of his house. Inside of his house, there were a total of 20 handguns, 10 semi-automatic rifles, some AK-47s, 50 shotguns, 1 sawed-off shotgun, which is illegal to own, and 2 Uzis. Let's not forget the 2 military-style flamethrowers that were also in his house that prevented firefighters from putting out the blaze. Some other things that have been discovered since then: the home that he broke into with a knife and pushed the woman on the ground, he said he was there to warn them about the rapture, which goes back to my original thoughts of, holy crap, he is on some serious stuff. Kevin Spacey, if you haven't seen already, is being super weird this week. He started a YouTube channel, put a video on there, and it's already got almost 8 million views.
My cock grows each day.
In the video on Kevin Spacey's YouTube channel, he takes the role of his character from House of Cards, Frank Underwood, and says a bunch of weird stuff and lets it play as though he's going to be back on House of Cards or that he never died off of House of Cards. But we're not talking about this to get into his whole thing. We're talking about this because there were some recent charges brought on him by a police department for diddling people. Within the past year, over a dozen people have come forward saying that Kevin Spacey touched them inappropriately. There hasn't been any official charges brought on against Kevin Spacey until a few days ago. Massachusetts District Attorney Michael O'Keefe said earlier this week that he was going to be charged with 1 count of indecent assault and battery, which is a felony charge. This stems from a 2016 incident where Spacey allegedly groped a busboy, and he's saying now that there's video evidence. From what I'm reading, Kevin Spacey has apparently been doing things like this for the past few decades. His arraignment is set for January 7th. I wonder if he's going to be putting any more weird shit on his YouTube channel between now and then. Speaking of, we can't just ignore some of these fantastic comments. 2018 has been weird as hell. Kevin Spacey will now be opening a YouTube gaming channel. I used sexual allegations to saw this career in half. Now watch me put it back together using just flex tape. Let me be frank, probably a better choice than being Kevin Spacey right now. Is this his audition for the lead in the Harvey Weinstein story? He attacked, he backed, but most importantly, he touched a little boy's sack. Oh God. That's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him. That's gonna be a yikes for me, dog. Kevin, this is kind of weird. Yep, definitely not a video a sexual predator would make. Moving on. Only in Florida, Florida Highway Patrol stopped a 27-year-old man for driving very erratically down the road. He was striking other cars. There were tires missing from his trailer. And as the officer was talking to the man, a little lemur popped out of the back and came to say hello. The funniest part about this is that the highway patrolman looks at it, and I guess he thinks, it's a little cat or something. What the Of course, they ended up arresting him for DUI. He blew a .108, which is very, very much over the legal limit. And the other animals they found in the trailer were a wallaby, a tortoise, a parrot, a goat, and a sheep. You can click on one story with Florida in it and just go down the rabbit hole from all the recommended stories that pop up on any news website you find a Florida man story on. Florida doctor accused of peeing on himself, confessing love to deputy during DUI arrest. I mean, the title says it all. It was a traffic stop, he pissed on himself, and then he confessed his love for the female deputy. Believe it or not, that's a pretty common DUI traffic stop right there. Our final story for tonight is something that I've been wanting to talk about since before Christmas. I just haven't had time, and my God, it is so heartwarming. It wasn't the anticipation or joy of knowing that Santa Claus was going to visit me this year that made me happy during the holidays. It was the fact that I know this woman is out there and someone caught this on video.
Not today is what Tahisha Jones says she was thinking as she confronted a 19-year-old would-be car thief.
49-year-old Bronx resident Tahisha Jones was taking her son to school when she noticed some dude jumped in her front seat and tried to take off in her car. So she did the right thing and she called the police. I am just kidding. She beat the shit out of that guy.
She caught him, pulled that nigga out the vehicle, and beat his ass. That's what I'm talking about. Get that nigga.
He's struggling. He's trying to get away. She jumps on top of him, pulls his shirt over his head, and starts choking him. 19-year-old Bernardo Santiago was charged with attempted grand larceny, petty larceny, and criminal stolen possession of stolen property. He told police that he got in the car because he thought it was his Uber. And that is all I have for you fine people today. I'm going to be over at twitch.tv/donutoperator momentarily. I hope you guys like my new camera. I think it looks a hell of a lot better than my old one. Please have a fantastic day.